Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you're joining today from. Another exciting meeting at Sattvic Toastmasters. As the name suggests, it is all about healthy lifestyle. At the same time, improving your communication skills that will benefit you a lot in your personal and professional life. As you see, our motto is all about not just health, it's all about your communication too. Sattvic Toastmaster will be an online club. It's a proposed club now, where we'll be focusing on leading Sattvic healthy lifestyle, self-healing, research and debate on alternative medicine, intercultural experience, where we are foreseeing members from different parts of the world, the interpersonal communication, storytelling, and critical thinking that you will learn as part of Toastmaster, of course. As Toastmaster, the only ground rule is to not to disturb the speaker. Keep yourself on mute when the speaker is on the stage or when somebody is speaking, not to disturb others. And second time, anybody who's speaking, ensure that you are not hurting the feelings of the audience. Many people keep saying, I'm speaking and I'm responsible for what I'm speaking, not what others understand. My dear, you are responsible because you are speaking. And that is what we learn in Toastmasters. You are responsible to understand the audience, the cultural differences, and to speak in a manner that everybody feels good. And that is what, or rather is why we are here to practice. With that note, can we have a big round of applause for our Toastmaster of the day, who is a doctor and also working with Reddy Labs in Hyderabad, India. He's been following intermittent fasting for almost 3 years now, and he has reaped a lot of benefits. We have seen in the last meeting where he has given a keynote speech on the benefits of intermittent fasting. Today, we are going to talk about some myths and facts. Some people say we can eat sweets, especially in South India, especially with Telugu people. What we do is on the fasting day, especially on the fasting day, we eat a lot of fruits, we eat a lot of sweets, and then we say we are still fasting. On Ekadasi especially, we have one thing that we say that we can eat wheat because rice is not healthy. And then we make puri and halwa and have it. And we still say that we are fasting. Does that really happen? Well, our doctor today, Dr. Jay, is going to talk about some myths and facts and what or how we can reap the benefits of fasting. With that note, let me invite our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Dr. Jay Sejpal, over to the virtual lecture as a Toastmaster. What do you say?
Thank you, Raghu. So, fellow Toastmaster and dear guest, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, according to respective time zone you are. It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to the Sattvic Toastmaster Club. In last session, we discussed some basics about intermittent fasting, that how intermittent fasting works, what are different kind of schedules which are there, and how you should start, and what is the basic science behind that. But when I discuss fasting with the people, I understand that different people have different concept of fasting, as rightly said by Raghu, that many people eat particular type of uh, food, fruits on the day of fasting, and they believe that they are doing fasting. So there are many prevalent myths. Many people believe that fasting is not good for health. So I thought there is now time to discuss some of the myths around the fasting, and let us understand what are the actual facts, and we bust the all these myths. So before we go deep dive into the myths and facts of fasting, I would like to explain the structure of today's meeting so that all of people who are not even Toastmasters, they would benefit. So our meeting today will be divided mainly into three aspects. One is a prepared speech round. In that, where members will be delivering speech based on the project and path they have chosen. Second will be the table topic rounds. Table topic round are also called impromptu speaking. where you will be called on to speak, and then you will be given a topic on which you have to think on your feet, and you have to immediately deliver short 1 to 2 minutes speech. And all the even guests are welcome to participate in this round as well. And lastly, there will be a evaluation round. In Toastmaster, we keep on improving ourselves. And for improving ourselves, it is very much necessary we get constructive feedback, and we get evaluation of whatever we are delivering, what speech we are talking, so that we can improve ourselves. So in evaluation round, we will be having an evaluation by one of the Toastmaster who will give feedback on the delivered speech. Also, in addition to that, we will be having a different roles like a timer role, a counter role, and grammarian role. For all this, we have different Toastmaster or team of Toastmaster who would help us to give a evaluation. So I would like to introduce Toastmaster Arav, who will be having a today role of our counter. I'll request him to explain his role today.
Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing well. As the AHA counter for today, my role is to meticulously track the usage of filler words like us, which we use like generally talking like how I'm using like so many times. So that's the filler words. I'll be keeping the note of the filler words used by everyone, and I'll present my report towards the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Arav. Now, next role is grammarian. For that, we have Toastmaster Jagadek to have the role of grammarian. He will explain his role today.
Thank you, Jay, for the introduction. My name is, for everyone, my name is Jagadek. So people find a hard time pronouncing my name or writing my name. So good morning, everyone. My name is Jagadek, especially from people who have joined this meeting from India. They know the value of waking up early. And I'm a student. I am getting to know the value of waking up early. So I've taken up a role in this meeting as a grammarian to make you people lead a healthy lifestyle by learning English and talking English in a proper way. So my role for today is grammarian. As a grammarian, I have dual role. One is wordmaster and second is grammarian. As a wordmaster, my responsibility is to introduce the word of the day and the phrase of the day for today's meeting. The word of the day for today's meeting is jaundiced. I repeat, jaundiced, which means showing or influenced by feelings. Which means showing or influenced by feelings. Example, she developed a very jaundiced view on politics. And the phrase of the day is, the time is ripe. I repeat, the time is ripe. Meaning, correct time to do something. Correct time to do something. Example, I felt the time is ripe to study. I hope you use the word of the day and phrase of the day. And I also request all the audience to show a virtual thumbs up while a speaker uses word of the day or the phrase of the day in his or her speech. And the second role for me is to look at the grammar, good and not so good uses of grammar, pronunciation of words, and the vocabulary of the speakers. So this is my role as the word master and grammarian. I'll be back with my report when the general evaluator calls me. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Jagdeep. I would request you can mention this word of the day and the idiom of the day in the chat box so that it will be easy reference for all the speakers and even table topic speakers. Yeah. So now coming to the next role, we have Navya, Toastmaster Navya, who as a timer role. I would request her to explain her role.
Good morning, everyone. For today's meeting, I'll be playing the role of timer, and I'll be tracking the time for the prepared speeches in the table topics for today. So for the prepared speeches, once we cross the 5 minutes timeline, I'll be showing the green since I couldn't get any cards, I'm just picking up some things which I have at home. So I'll be showing the green color once the speaker crosses 5 minutes, and once the speaker crosses 6 minutes, I'll be showing yellow color. And once there is a cross of time above 7 minutes, I'll be showing red. And similarly, I'll be doing tracking the time for table topics as well for today.
రెడీ అయినట్టు ఫోన్ చేసినావా?
Thank you, Dam. So now let us deep dive into today's topic, which is myths and facts of around fasting. So now when I discuss with the people and when I try to understand what is their idea of fasting, I come across many such beliefs which are not exactly true. And because of all this disbelief or different myths, people are not able to have the courage to start fasting. So that all this kind of myths, we'll try to understand what is basic science behind that and what is true and what is not true. So here I have listed down some of the myths which I often encounter when I discuss with the people. So I would request all of you to mention in the chat that which of this statement you believe are true and about fasting, this is your belief, so that you are hesitant to go for fasting. So first of all, like during fasting, many people believe that it is okay to have small serving of food, some beverages, diet soda, fruit, or food with artificial sweetener or drinks with artificial sweeteners. Some people believe that brain will require glucose to function. So if I stop eating, if I do fasting, I'll lose my mind, I'll become angry. Some people believe that fasting will make you lose your muscle, it will burn the protein, you will go into starvation mode, and there will be a lowering of basal metabolic rate. All those kind of belief many people are having, and one of the greatest fear is that people believe that they will feel very much hungry and they will start overeating when they start eating after fasting window. So which of these things you can mention by number, you believe that that is your hesitation to go for fasting, or you believe that this is a very common belief which is there among the people? So yes, I see that somebody is saying that having a feeling of hungry. Miral is saying that having hunger and fear of overeating. Yes, many people believe that first and fifth are common myth. Yeah. Okay. So now let us deep dive into each of them and let us understand the facts. So this is very common thing. Like people believe that it is okay to have fruit juice. Fruit juices are healthy. Okay to have diet soda with beverages. And as Raghu had rightly pointed out, in India, there is a culture that there is a day of Ekadasi. People believe that it is okay to have any food which is made up from fruits. Even they eat fried food and they eat sweet, and they believe that still they are fasting. And some people are doing fasting, but they take milk with artificial sweetener, coffee, tea, all those kind of things they take. But you can see here, this is here with the one of such study, I tried to point it out that how quickly the benefits or hormonal changes which are achieved with the long hours of fasting are reversed. Very quickly those things are undone as soon as you consume even small amount of food or sweetened beverages. In one of such study, it was shown that just a tiny amount of glucose, which is just 2 spoons of sugar or even just a sip of soft drink, is enough to all reverse the positive metabolic and hormonal changes which we achieved with the fasting. So you can see in the graph, as soon as you eat something, that ketosis is stopped. Now, ketosis is the process by which body burns the fat, and this can be achieved with the long hour of fasting of 16 to 18 hours. But as soon as you start eating something, ketosis is stopped. So there will be no ketone or fatty acid body will be there inside the body, and all this level drop drastically. Again, insulin will change, and it will increase, and glucose level also start increasing. So in short, we can say that instead of burning fat, which you achieved by doing a long hour of fasting, body will start again burning the sugar which just you consume. So that the takeaway from this is that when you are doing fasting, when you have fasting window of maybe 19 to 24 hours, when you are doing fasting, you should not eat anything, even not artificial sweeteners, not no amount of glucose or fruit juice or even fruit. Fruit are healthy. I am not trying to say that you should not eat fruit. Whenever there is your eating window, you can eat all those things. But when there is a fasting window, you should avoid any of such things. It should be clean fast. So now, just to refresh your knowledge on intermittent fasting, how it works, we discussed last time. There are two compartment model. In body, energy is stored in glycogen and body fat. These are two different storage system of the body to store the energy. When you are eating, excess of glucose will be converted into glycogen, which will be stored in the liver, which is equivalent to have a fridge. You put extra groceries, fruits, vegetable inside the fridge, but when you have excess amount of groceries, you will visit the deep freezer and you will store it there. So same way, if there is an excess of amount of energy we are consuming from the food, body will convert it into body fat with the help of insulin, and it will go into the cold storage. And when you eat, insulin will not allow to burn this body fat. Okay, you will be able to use glucose and glycogen from the liver as a source of energy, but not body fat. As soon as you eat, there will be increase in the insulin. It will not allow to move body fat. But when you are fasting, your glycogen from the storage will be used up, and there will be absence of insulin. Fasting suppress the level of insulin, and that is why your body fat storage will start moving when you do longer fast, like more than 16 to 18 hours. So this was the basic thing. If you understand this, I think you will be yourself will be able to understand the science behind it, and you will not go into a different traps of the different myths. Another common myth is that brain needs glucose to function, and people have fear that if I fast, I will feel hungry and I'll become angry. So this kind of feeling, people say that I am hangry, hunger plus anger. So this kind of emotion is called hangry feeling. However, this is also not true. The brain has capacity to use ketone, and ketones are produced by fasting, during fasting, with the help of fat. So this is also a very good source of energy for brain, and this allows conservation of the protein. So as we discussed that fat is long-term storage. After fasting, it will be utilized, and during initial hours of fasting, glycogen from the liver will be utilized. And when you are doing regular fasting, switching from glycogen as energy storage to fat as energy source, it becomes very easy switch. So this both myths, you understand now science behind it, so that you should not get trapped into this kind of myth, and based on that, you should follow the clean fasting, and you should not have fear that your brain will be deprived of energy when you are fasting. So with this, we will move to the first section of the meeting. And for the prepared speech, we have Vrunda, Toastmaster Vrunda. She is delivering a speech for level 4 project 1, level 1 project 4, sorry. And now I will call upon Pramod to introduce her project and speech title. Over to you, Pramod. Hello. Pramod, you are not very much audible.
Your internet seems to having
Now
trouble.
now I am audible.
Yes.
Hello. Okay.
Yes.
Toastmaster Vrinda is going to deliver the first speech from level 4. There are two parts for the speech, that is evaluation and feedback. And this is the first. The purpose of the speech is to deliver. Project is to deliver a speech, take feedback, and incorporate the same feedback.
Hello. We are not getting voice from Pramod. So let me.
Hello.
Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah, Vrinda, over to you. You can start your speech. I will just narrate again. Level 1, Project 4, Evaluation and Feedback. And her speech title is Why Diet Fails. Toastmaster Vrinda, Why Diet Fail?
Hello, everyone. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This is my first speech ever, so wish me luck. This is Brunda. I'm calling in from Vancouver, Canada. And my experience with diets has been like twists and turns, ups and downs. And so I decided to share my journey with you guys. So the way I'm going to discuss is I'm going to share my own journey about why diets fail, why I feel that diets fail, and instead what you could do so that your diet and your health journey is successful. So as Dr. Jai was talking about the refrigerator, I was staring at my own refrigerator, and this is what I had in my refrigerator: ice cream. And it is a chocolate almond vanilla flavor ice cream, my favorite. And my cravings were about to come, and I was like, I need to have at least one ice cream. And I remembered the freezer and my fat in my body. And instead, this is what I had: avocado, and then the very famous Loki or bottle gourd. So this is what I had instead of having the ice cream. Now, this has been my journey. This time I was successful not having this ice cream, and instead I chose something healthy, because now I have switched and I don't diet, but I have switched into a very healthy lifestyle. And this is what I feel is, looking back and when I analyzed why some diets are successful and why some are not. The reason is because diets are temporary, but if you choose a lifestyle which is holistic and wholesome, that's more permanent. And that brings me to my 3 tips. Firstly, choose something that works for you. Don't choose a diet which is, for example, I don't want to label a particular diet, but if you if you choose a keto lifestyle, it talks about no sugar, no dairy, no grains. But if you are someone who's not ready or who is not able to quit dairy, if you're not able to quit grains, what is going to happen is when you go on a keto diet, you fast and your waist size will reduce. This has happened to me. And when you go back to having dairy or having your grains, it will come back to what it was in the starting position. And then you will feel as if you are a loser. So choose something that works really for you. The second thing is have a backup plan. If you have a very restricted diet, you might not be able to sustain it in social situations. You might not be able to choose something, or if you have a busy day, you might not be able to sustain or follow your diet 100%. So have backup options. And number 3, whichever diet you follow, movement is still important. It is never a story which is 100% dieting. You of course need some movement. So have some time in your schedule wherein you could move. You could follow a joyful activity like dancing. you could do yoga, you could do Zumba, you could do it today. If you do not have time today, you can do it tomorrow, maybe at an extra time, or follow it on a weekend. But make sure you have at least 150 to 300 hours or minutes of activity per week. So these are the 3 tips. And I hope with these tips, what you could do is adapt any diet, but do it with these 3 tips. So I hope with these kind of tips, you are not jaundiced by following a diet, but instead you're able to explore something which works for you, choose a lifestyle that works for you, and then you will be on a holistic, healthy journey, which I call a lifestyle change instead of following a diet. So to wrap up, guys, what I want all of us to do is to follow a lifestyle and just not have a short-term view on a diet. Thank you for patient listening, and back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vrinda, for a very good advice on following diets. So now coming back to our theme, one more myth I would like to share, and before we start the next session. Yeah, again, this is a very common myth and common fear which I hear from people, that fasting will impact muscle. It will make muscles weak. It will burn the protein. However, this fear is also not very true. Glucose or glycogen, as we discussed in the model of refrigerator and deep freeze, glucose or glycogen is burned first. Then there is a turn of burning fat, and muscle tissue is preserved by body even while fasting. Until and unless you are doing an absolute fast for long days, more than a week, then maybe some muscle tissue may get impacted. But if you are doing intermittent fasting daily or alternate day fasting, there are no any chance that muscle tissue or protein will be degenerated and you will have weakness. Because fat is the storage of energy and muscle is the functional tissue. So body will preserve muscle mass until fat store becomes so low and there is no other choice for body to get the energy. So if you look at the some of the studies, one such studies was using an alternate day fasting regimen, and with that around 8 weeks of alternate day fasting, there was decrease in body weight by 6%, fat mass decreased by 11%, and lean mass, which is a weight of muscle and bone, did not change at all. So there was a no muscle mass loss. So there is a no need to have such fear. Significant improvement was also seen in LDL cholesterol and triglyceride. All this, both the lipids are harmful lipids, and it will give you chances of having atherosclerosis and cardiovascular disease. Those kind of lipids were reduced, and there was an increase in growth hormone, which made sure that you maintain the muscle mass during the fasting. Another such study was 1 meal per day, which is also one type of intermittent fasting, where you fast for 20 to 23 hours and only have 1 meal every day. With such kind of regimen, there was a significantly more fat loss and compared to eating 3 meals per day, and despite of having a same calorie intake, and there was no any evidence of muscle loss. So there is no basis to have that fear that you will lose your muscle mass and you will become weak by following fasting. So now let's come to the next session of table topics. I would request our Toastmaster Raghu to take us through the session of table topics. Over to you, Raghu.
Much, Jay. Table topics in Toastmaster is all about just learning swimming. Learn to swim in your swimming pool so that you can actually swim outside, whether it is sea or river, etc. The impromptu speaking, or whatever you call, there are 2 types of speeches, prepared and unprepared. Prepared is what you see outside when the politicians come and they speak on the stage, become prepared for that. And then there are people who just talk. And it is something filthy, sometimes it is just that they're able to make an impact. But whatever they're speaking, whether it is the reporter who are talking or whether whoever is talking, they make an impact. And guess what? That 1 to 2 minutes of talk makes a lot of impact. Sometimes it decides your future. Sometimes it will give you a lot of example. In the interview, they ask you some questions. The way that you answer will decide whether you are getting selected or not. The first question itself is, tell me something about yourself, right? And then does, even though you know about yourself, but how do you tell that within those seconds matters a lot, right? I was born, I was brought up and everything, something like that. So life is not a prepared speech, but you can go prepared if you can practice table topics in Toastmasters. Now, you need to speak for minimum 1 minute and the maximum is 2 minutes with a grace period of 30 seconds. So the timer will show 1 minute green and 1.5 amber or red, yellow, and then 2 minutes red. So once you see the red card, you have 30 seconds to wrap up and leave the stage. So before we start, I will invite a Toastmasters to demo how table topic is done, and then I will invite the guest. So Navya, do you want to do a table topic?
Sure.
Thank you, Navya. What is the health routine that you follow on daily basis to keep yourself fit? What is the health routine that you follow daily to keep yourself fit, Navya?
Start the timer. Good morning, everyone. So my table topic topic for today's table topic is what is the health routine that I follow. So as the speaker, as the Toastmaster earlier spoke in the prepared speech, right? So I try to follow a healthy lifestyle instead of going for a particular diet, particular fancy diet for some period of time. So what are the things that I do on a regular basis is like at least I try to spend around 30 minutes on any physical activity. It could be yoga, or it could be I go for a brisk walk, or some form of aerobic activity. So this is what I do on a compulsory basis, at least 5 times in a week. Like some days I might be busy, so at least somehow I try to balance, and at least 5 days in a week I try to follow this. And one more thing that I do is like I don't eat after 8 p.m. Like I try to always have a early and light dinner between 7 to 8 p.m. Some days I have to go out and it definitely changes, but most of the days I try to follow this so that my food gets digested early in the night, right? And not much of fat deposition happens on a daily basis, right? And one more thing that I follow is I try to eat whenever I'm hungry in between during the day, right? So that time I try to have healthy snacks. Like instead of going for some biscuits or things like that, I try to always have some healthy snacks with me. Like it could be some fruits or some makhana or roasted peanuts, right? Those things I try to carry when I go out of station, or when I go out for long hours where I won't be having access to foods. And suddenly if I feel hungry, I don't want to munch upon something unhealthy. So I try to carry some healthy snacks with me always. So some of these small things help me to have a healthy lifestyle on a day-to-day basis. And thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Navya. Now it's time. Hari, will you be interested? Hari Nair. Okay, no problem. Shahid, do you want to go?
Yes, Raghu.
Shahid, the topic for you is it's now or never. It's now or never, Shahid. You understood, right? The topic?
Yes, Raghu, I understood. Just in a couple of seconds, I will start. Shall I start? Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Today, my table topic is it's now or never. This phrase come across in our life in multiple scenarios. As we are currently in our Sattvic group, let's take this Sattvic as in our life. We will be having food from our birth, starting from mother's milk. So we will be eating so many things. We will be having chocolates, biscuits, snacks, and everything. Once we reach to certain age, we will be thinking whether it is healthy or not. Sometimes we know it's not healthy, but we will think like it's very tasty, or from the beginning we are eating. So if we eat, it will give pleasure to me. So we will simply go for it. We did not focus on the health. So we did not focus on our health. Like that, it's the time has come to think it's the Sattvic is now or never. Why? Because whatever you eat, it will be deposited into your body, and after a few years the same thing will come. Let's see what is the current problem we are facing is the blood sugar. Everywhere we can see the diabetic and diabetic patient. So once we have a good lifestyle, if we don't have lifestyle, we will eat for some time and we will not be eating for some time. If we incorporate those things in our day-to-day life, that will become our lifestyle. So it's the time has come for a Sattvic to now or never. So thank you for giving this opportunity. Over to you, table topic master.
Hey, that's a lovely speech. So what I loved the best was you brought the title back in your closing. That's a good what do you say technique that speaker used, and you're able to do it at a very early stage. Wonderful. Pinchu, do you want to go next? You're on mute. You remember, Pinchu, do you want?
Sorry, Raghu, I'm still not yet prepared. I'm just learning.
That is what it is. You're not prepared and you need to talk. You don't come prepared for table topics. It's fine. Whatever you can, you try. We are trying here. Everybody is learning here. Nobody is trying to show off or being exceptional here. We're all learning. Okay. The topic is simple, and then this is in line with every woman in the world, I would say. So my question remains to every woman, and especially you now, is that why is it hard for women to take out time for their health? Why is it hard for you women to take out time for your healthy routine?
Okay, I would like to go for this topic. And good morning, everyone here. Since you have given me the topic that why it is so difficult for women to prioritize their health and they are ignoring their health. The major reason behind is that we are not prioritizing the things for ourselves. Since we have a family to handle, women are surrounded by major work and are multitaskers. So doing and focusing on the multitasking, they are very often forgetting themselves, and they are not looking for themselves, and they are looking for the family. If they are cooking, they are looking the choices of the family. If they are buying something, they are looking for the choices for their family and not for themselves. So this mindset is coming to the health as well. So suppose she is very much ready to send her child to some classes or some you can say for some sports academy, but she will sit there for an hours to wait for them, but she will not prioritize over herself over that situations. So maybe this is the mindset which is the reason that she is not able to focus on her own health.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pinchu. My question was not just to ask you a table topic. It is for all the women to think and see why you are not following a healthy routine. What is that keeping you away from that? With that note, I conclude my table topic session today. But before that, let me tell you Next time you are asked a question or you are asked to answer a table topic, remember one technique that you can use is prep. Make your point, whether you agree or disagree with that point. And then second thing is, why do you think, or rather is reasoning, and then the examples, and then you make your point again. Just like how Shahid has closed, making a point, that point again, close that point, and the reasoning, examples, and then point. Okay, this is one of the famous technique that can be used. So everyone in the room, next time you are attending a table topics or answering any question outside, even when you are speaking, even when you are writing a speech, anything, this is a one technique that you can always use. With that note, I conclude table topics and give control back to your beloved Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Jay Sejpal.
Thank you, Raghu. So now, sorry, I am not having a ability to share the screen. So one of the next common myths which I would like to discuss is
You're
that
a host now. You should be
okay, thank you. One of another common myth which I want to address now is that people believe that fasting puts you in the starvation mode. It reduces the basal metabolic rate or energy expenditure, what we say. However, this is exactly opposite is the true. And it has been observed in various studies that during a period of long fasting, body's total energy expenditure actually increase. And this is a benefit compared to reducing the calorie for weight reduction. When we reduce the calorie intake, actually our basal metabolic rate and energy expenditure goes down. Body learns to survive with lower energy, and that makes it difficult to lose weight even after reducing calorie. However, when you follow intermittent fasting, it is exactly opposite which is happening, that your body is trying to have a spend more energy, and there are various studies to even prove this, that after 22 days of alternate day fasting, in one of the study it was noticed that there was no decrease at all in total energy expenditure. Body did not go into starvation mode. There was no decrease in metabolism, and on the contrary, that expenditure from fat increased by 58%, and energy expenditure from carbohydrate and glucose reduced by 53%. Even one study evaluated impact on energy expenditure after long duration of fasting of 4 days. So total energy expenditure increased by 12%. Fatty acid, which is again burning fat, increased by 370%. Insulin decreased by 70%. And despite all this, of long days of fasting for 4 days, there was not at all much reduction in the blood glucose level. So body was able to maintain the blood glucose. So our fear that we'll go into hypoglycemia is also not true. So if in short, body start using energy from fat rather than using it from the glucose, and there is a no drop in overall energy usage, or you can say basal metabolic rate. It doesn't go down, so there is no need to have this fear. And one of lastly but not very important myth is that you will feel hungry, very much hungry, and it will cause you overeating when you start eating after completion of your fasting window and starting of the eating window. However, in studies, it has been observed that fasting reduces the ghrelin hormone. Yes, Raghu?
Thank you for this wonderful topic. I have a question.
Yes,
So
yes.
people following intermittent fasting, how long should we follow it? It will be lifelong or some duration that you want to say? And second
Yeah.
thing is, if someone is fasting for longer duration, something like 3 to 4 days, what is the best way to break the fast?
Okay. So first thing, like how long? So now again, as we say, there's any diet like this, intermittent fasting is also a lifestyle. So it is not recommended that you stop after some time. But yes, if you are doing, suppose, extensive fasting of alternate day or extensive fasting of 20 to 22 hours, once you achieved a desired weight loss or desired changes in your body, and if it is remaining in the control, then you can maybe increase 2 meals, like 18 hours of fast. But if it has been observed that if we go into again a routine 3 times fasting, 3 major meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner, then there are chances that we may regain the weight and we may lose the advantage of all the fasting which we have achieved with the long duration of fasting. So it is a lifestyle, and with my experience of more than 3 years now, I can say that it becomes easier. Once you start, it becomes easier to follow. And the way you feel, like I feel very much energetic. I take light snack in the evening around 4 or 5 o'clock and have a dinner. That's all. And then again next day I will have around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I will have some light snacks or fruits. So this kind of lifestyle, it gives very good energy, and I feel very light throughout the day. For sake of that only, I will not be willing to go back to have a 3 meals a day every day. So that is the feeling of most of the people who follow fasting. And they say that fasting is a kind of regimen which have lots of health benefit and just a side effect of weight loss. So there are many advantages of having a long term of fasting, intermittent fasting, and you feel energetic throughout the day. And it is a lifestyle, so it is advisable we should not ideally go back. But yes, we can have at least once you have achieved your goal, you can have at least 2 meals a day and around 18 hours of fasting, and you will not feel it is difficult also to follow.
How many hours do you do now?
I do almost 19 to 20 hours every day.
Okay. So you eat only in the evenings then, every day?
Yeah, every day in the evening around 3 or 4 o'clock, and by 8 o'clock I finish my dinner. And next day up to 3 or 4 o'clock, I don't eat anything. Very clean fast.
Okay. Currently, I'm following about a 10 to 2 p.m. window. So do you think it is something that I can maintain for lifelong?
Yes, you will be able to maintain. I don't think that you will feel hungry and you will feel the need to change it. Any window which is convenient, like some people like my mother keep on doing 9 to 3. She finds it convenient and easy to maintain, so she keeps on doing that 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. either
Thank you.
morning or evening, whichever window is convenient. People can continue with that.
Thank you. Can you stop sharing? And then there are a couple of questions in the chat
Yes,
that we can
yes,
take
yes.
and move to the next section.
Sure.
Miral Patel from United States is asking question. People with diabetic or BP conditions, can they do intermittent fasting? How should one prepare for such patients?
Yeah, you can do, but whenever you are having condition since a long time, like diabetes and hypertension, you should consult your doctor also. And whenever you want to start, you should start slowly, like the way, like 3 years back, if I talk about my experience, I started by delaying the breakfast. I didn't even skip the breakfast. First, I moved my breakfast to 11 or 12, 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. Gradually I increased from 15 hours, 19 hours, 20 hours, like that. So that gradual increase will not be very difficult, and we should, yes, keep monitoring blood glucose level, hypertension, and you should consult also before going into extensive fasting. You should consult your doctor, but at least I think starting 15 to 16 hours, there won't be any much problem. So you
Thank you.
can start small.
There's another question from Distinguished Toastmaster Pramod. What if one fasts for 18 hours and take alcohol during the 1 meal per day? How does it affect?
Yeah, alcohol is calorie heavy with the calorie, so that you should be careful about. It is not that when we fast for 18 to 20 hours, our remaining day we can overeat also. Generally, we don't overeat because of this hormonal change and hormone ghrelin which reduce the appetite. But we should be careful that we should not overeat also. Calorie consumption should not be even high during the eating window, very high. But yes, some amount of alcohol will not have much problem until and unless you are okay with some disadvantage of having alcohol.
Well, thank you. So other two questions I'm clubbing both Brinda's and Dr. P.C. Vengaya's. They're asking, what is your meal in dinner after you're maintaining 1 meal a day, or maybe any meal after you break your intermittent fasting? I want to add one question, so because you also have talked about it. Sometimes I feel that when I'm having my window of eating 10 to 2, so after my detox, I take 2 hours gap to have my breakfast, and then sometimes I club both breakfast and lunch into one, and I feel that I'm overeating. So how can that be avoided? So I'm asking both the questions. So what is the food that you recommend in 1 meal a day? Second thing is how one can avoid overeating.
Yeah, for when you are doing a 1 meal a day, there is no much specific recommendation, but generally it is advisable that refined carbohydrate like breads, uh, processed food like burger, all those things, which is having a very much high amount of fructose, processed carbohydrate. These are called pre-digested food. As soon as you eat bread or bun, it goes immediately, it increases the sugar. So such kind of food is not good for health, even if you are following intermittent fasting. Apart from that, there is no much do's or don'ts when you are eating. When as much as you like, you can eat, but just be mindful that we don't overeat. That's all. Otherwise, like less amount of carbohydrate and more amount of protein and fat would be good. Some people recommend to combine intermittent fasting with the keto lifestyle, so that you can avoid the carbohydrate, milk and dairy products, which is even more advantageous compared to just intermittent fasting. But to start with, I think if you don't keep any restriction, that is also fine. Only just high amount of carbohydrate, processed food and sugar, if you can avoid, that is a good thing.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jay. Now it's time to move to the next section.
Yes, we'll move to the next
We
section
will
and
not
we
take
can,
any further questions.
yeah, we can call upon Pramod for evaluation of speech by Vrinda.
Uh, uh, can I go now?
Sure, Pramod.
I'm extremely sorry when I'm keeping the video off because I'm having a very high unstable connection of internet. But I hope it is audible to you. Thankfully I listened to your speech. Awesome. I would like to appreciate some of which you excellently in your speech. That is, your speech was full of practical wisdom. You prepared your speech in a very practical way, things which are possible for normal human beings to follow. For example, you first choose your type of writing if you are doing for one, and all these things normally people don't do it. They don't get in a particular. You had given valid advice on moving on.
We are not getting sound from him. I think meanwhile we can move to next section if he's able to join, and if we can have good voice, I think then
You can go to the meeting evaluation.
sorry.
You can go to other reports.
Okay.
Then.
Yes. Yeah. Now I will call upon Navya to give a timer report.
Hi everyone. So my timer report is as follows. So for the prepared speeches section, the speaker Vrinda, she has completed her speech in 4 minutes 22 seconds. And in the table topic section, my table topic was for the timing was 2 minutes 22 seconds. The second speaker, Shahid, his time was 2 minutes. And third speaker, Pinchu, her timing was 1 minute 30 seconds. So all
Thank
the three
you.
table topics are within the time.
Okay. Thank you, Navya. So now we'll call upon Jagdeep for grammarian report.
Hello everyone, am I clearly audible? Could you please confirm that?
Yes.
Thanks for the confirmation. Good morning everyone once again. The time is ripe for me to deliver my report without being jaundiced. So as I have already stated, I have two roles. One is wordmaster and the second is grammarian. First, I will go with the report of wordmaster. I observed Toastmaster of the day has used the phrase of the day once. Other than that, I have observed no speaker have used the word of the day or phrase of the day. So I request the speakers to note down the word of the day and phrase of the day so that you can use in your daily usage. It is not about only using in the meeting, taking it forward outside of the meeting into your lives. So I request you to note this down. I'll put it in the chat box again. You can note those down and take it to your daily usage as well. Second, the grammarian's report. First, I will start with good usages of vocabulary I have observed from the Toastmaster of the day again. Using normal vocabulary in a good way is a normal thing, but he have created a new word called hangry. Hungry plus angry. So I call this is an innovation from Toastmaster of the day. I got amazed by this word. So I appreciate Toastmaster of the day for creating such a new kind of words. I request all the speakers also to create such new words and also use good vocabulary, pronunciation and grammar in English as well. Coming to not so good uses where the part we improve. First, one of the speakers has used brain will require. It would be great if the speaker has used brain requires. And the second thing is they will feel very much hungry. One of the speakers have used this. I felt that it would be great if the speaker have used they will feel hungry, because very and much are two synonyms which we use every day. So they will feel very hungry will do the work. And the third thing is there are no drop. It would be great if the speaker have used there will be no drop or decrease. Anything will work. So this is my report and I request all the speakers, all the attendees to look after the grammar, pronunciation and the vocabulary of the English. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Jagdeep. Now, for our counter, we call upon Arav to give his report.
Yeah. So it's time for ums and so's, likes, you knows. So here is my report. First of all the speakers have shown eloquence and confidence throughout this meeting. So congratulations to all the speakers. Now coming to my report, our TMOD, Toastmaster Jay, used hours 15 plus. DTM Raghu 2 times hours. Grammarian Jagadik, no filler words. Congratulations. Timer Navya 10 plus hours, 2 so's. Speaker 1, Toastmaster Vrunda, 2 hours, 2 so's, and 1 you know. Guest Shahid, 4 hours, 2 so's. Guest Pinchu, 9 hours. That's all my part. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Arav. Thank you, Arav. So with that, I think time is ripe and we should not get jaundiced by the different fears and myths around fasting, and we should be starting to follow healthy lifestyle, or fasting. So with that, I will conclude my session and I will hand it over to presiding officer Toastmaster Raghu.